Gaming Bolt presents 15 things you need to know before you buy Final Fantasy XV. There aren't many other games in the world that can harness as much excitement as a new Final Fantasy game, and developer Square Enix are at it again with the next iteration in the grand series, Final Fantasy XV. From slaying giant beasts to finishing hundreds of hours of gameplay and countless quests, this game is sure to be a major undertaking for anyone who dares travel its massive sandbox. So, we're here to help. Here are 15 things we think you should know before you buy the game. Light on tutorials. What's one thing you think of when starting a Final Fantasy game? That's right, tutorials. Japanese RPGs are notorious for tutorial screens. With Final Fantasy XV, things will be switched up a bit. Tutorials are completely out of the main story. Instead, there will be an option to do a tutorial story that gives you some pointers along the way. So if you've already played through the game and you want to replay it, it's an efficient way to get through the story a lot faster than usual. Rest to level up. One of the funnest things about playing RPGs is the leveling up aspect of the experience. Meet your enemy, defeat your enemy, gain experience to grow stronger and gain more abilities. Whoa. Slow down there. Leveling up plays a little differently in Final Fantasy XV. There will be a time when you defeat an enemy and you should level up, however to do so you will need to rest first. Go to sleep in a comfortable hotel or sleep in a camping site, but get to sleep. You've got some leveling up to do. Open world open from the beginning. In Final Fantasy XV you'll be thrown into an open world right from the start, with fully explorable regions from the get-go. Players will be able to go right into the world and its open areas and figure out its secrets, take on side activities, or go for hunting. The world is yours to explore without any barriers. Battle system cues. Taking cues from very familiar franchises that are great at dealing the punishment of sword and gunplay, Final Fantasy XV will be extracting their combat gameplay in a whole new way. Unlike other games in the series, this new action-style combat will be fast and fluid. You'll have the option to change weapons during combat using selected outputs on the D-pad. Though the game will not be as difficult as some of the hardcore action games that require precision skills to make a kill, you'll get the full experience working your way through each enemy. Magic is no longer tied to MP. Magic is no longer connected with MP or magic points in Final Fantasy XV. Now, magic is no longer considered spells within the game. This marks a long-style format that Square Enix have undoubtedly changed to remaster the qualities that make a great RPG. Instead, players will need to equip magic, which can then be used in battle. But first, the player must craft a spell from elemental energies through crystals that can be found throughout the open world. Kind of interesting. Ascension Grid. Final Fantasy XV's leveling system has been dubbed the Ascension Grid. It resembles the Sphere Grid from Final Fantasy X, which was a very straightforward way of changing up skills in a nice flow. New abilities can be learned by spending ability points. AP can be earned through battle and various other missions throughout the game. Each character will have its own Ascension Grid that can be worked on separately to optimize each character to his own skill. Active Cross Battle. AXB, or Active Cross Battle, is what Final Fantasy XV calls the battle system within the game. It's typically the same style as what can be found in Kingdom Hearts. A list of abilities such as attack, spell, etc. will be allocated to a button to help during battle. The most important thing to remember in battle to win is be persistent, figure out what the enemy's weakness is, and strike on that. There will also be a desire button that will have a desire move that when selected will perform that specific action. Summons. Summoning in Final Fantasy XV is going to be vastly different than any other previous game. Summons in this version will be titled Astrals. These Astrals will bring back familiar summons but also throw in some new ones as well. Astrals are arranged by class and subdivided into a ranking system. Before the character can even summon an Astral, the summon must have been previously defeated to obtain it or found in some other unknown fashion. Summons are also dependent on the environment, so summons like Leviathan and Titan need large open areas for their summoning. Furthermore, Leviathan can only be summoned if there is water nearby. Gameplay time. This next fact may come as less of a shock for most JRPG gamers. Final Fantasy XV will include over 100 hours of gameplay. This is including not just single player, but every side quest and extra journey along the way. Feel free to go on out there and take your time with discovering the world as slow or as fast as you'd like, because it's going to be a long journey no matter what. Day 1 patch. Square Enix have announced a somewhat small Day 1 patch compared to many other games that release is in the works for Final Fantasy XV. This patch will include camera fixes and improvements and other fixes that have yet to be released. Not needing a huge Day 1 patch is pretty nice, knowing that we can play the game almost right away. Side quests. Speaking of 100 hours of gameplay, Final Fantasy XV will in fact have over 200 side quests. That's an insane amount of gameplay in such a massive game. What are all these side quests? Well, we don't know just yet, but we will have to spend a good amount of our lives in this game right from the start. Flying car. Talk about a ride with class. Final Fantasy XV will indeed have a flying aircraft in the game. Will it be an airship? Not exactly. There won't be a massive ship you can walk around in with different rooms that you can explore that we know of yet. But the Regalia, the black car that we've been seeing in a lot of the trailers, will fly. That's right. Funny enough, the car looks like the Batmobile when it goes off from cruising to a flying car. Wings expand from its back end, engines ignite from the rear sides, and it turns into one nasty looking hellbeast. This is sure to get a lot of people excited. Death magic. Death magics are a morbid way of taking out many different enemies within Final Fantasy XV. Death magic is literally that, death. Noctis casts a magenta haze onto his enemy and it depletes the life out of it instantly, making a sudden and untimely death for the monster. This is a nice way to quickly rid yourself of unsightly beasts and get a little further without much effort. One of the most overpowered moves in the game, although it's a bit unsettling. PS4 Pro version may or may not get improvements. The PS4 Pro is launching a couple weeks before Final Fantasy XV. This obviously means that players would expect a boost in performance and visuals right away. However, this is not the case because the developers have said that the enhancements may come post-launch. This also means that enhancements may not come at all for the Pro version and might only feature an upscaled or checkerboard 4K resolution. Quite disappointing if this is the only improvement they have planned for the Pro version. Sub-HD resolution. For those of us who won't be getting a PS4 Pro this holiday season, we will be stuck with the regular edition of Final Fantasy XV with sub-HD dynamic resolutions for the day one launch of Xbox One and PS4. But if you're interested in a great experience and don't care too much about top-of-the-line graphics, this game will have you covered on that.
And that wraps it up. What are your thoughts about this? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and share it on Twitter and Facebook. And why not consider subscribing? We upload some really cool videos almost every day. Thank you for watching this video, and happy gaming!